This is ESPN ESPORTS. I'm Ardo Cal. As it pertains to North America, things have been absolutely bonkers in Season 8 of the Rocket League Championship Series. We have undefeated teams, underperforming teams, and teams battling for their playoff lives as we enter the last week of the NA regular season. We go to our first game, NRG taking on Rogue. NRG enters the game 6-0, undefeated with their ticket already punched to Madrid. Rogue, however, needs some help to get into the regional finals, and they know it. First minute of game 1, Rogue is running out of the gate. AJ waits in Rogue's goal for Justin to make a shot. AJ gets the ball over Turbo and into NRG's half. Garrett G is able to block AJ, but Kronovi finishes the job. AJ nearly carries the whole pitch. Rogue playing like there's no tomorrow, and they take the lead 1-0, and they're not done. Following kickoff, Rogue playing aggressive. AJ gets the kickoff, takes a shot on goal and misses, but Kronovi is there again for the goal on an open look. Turbo goes after AJ, leaving Kronovi free for the goal. Rogue wins game 1 4-3 with Wonder making Rogue's next 2 goals. Series tied at 1 entering game 3. Rogue leads 1-0. AJ resets the ball back into the opponent's side of the pitch. All 3 members of NRG are at the goal, and AJ pulls off a spectacular move for the goal. Turbo gets a touch on the ball, but AJ rides the wall, hits the roof, and gets the perfect boost and touch for the goal. Rogue win game 3 3-1. Rogue lead the series 2-1 with a chance to win the series in game 4. AJ and Garrett G meet in the air for the ball. Kronovi gets the right touch and is able to get the goal past Turbo and Justin. Rogue wins the series 3-1 and keep their season alive. NRG dropped to 6-1. Now time to bring in Rocket League analyst Lawler to break down all the action. NRG only 1 loss this entire season. How are they able to stay on top of the mountain?
A lot of it does have to do with this roster in general being probably, in my opinion, one of the most versatile we've ever seen. You are bringing in a ton of experience, not only from North American side, but also European side. Obviously, beginning of the season, we mentioned, on paper, this team is probably one of the most talented. And when you add in addition of someone who's a 3-time world champion, the first one to ever do it with Turbo Pulsa, we had a lot of questions. We weren't sure how he was going to fill in those gaps, but we've seen throughout the season that each player on that team can take different roles and adjust accordingly. And I personally believe that's why they're such a good team, is they go against a bunch of different play styles, and rather than just sticking to one play style like they did last season, they change theirs to accommodate their competition, or the opposite. They change their play style to make sure, okay, if you guys are going to play this way, we're going to play the opposite to make sure it's difficult for you guys. So for them, it's just by being able to diversify what they're trying to accomplish in their play style, as well as their just overall presence on the field. To me, it was like the biggest noticeable thing was the week 1 to week 2 difference for Turbo. Super quiet, very passive, defensive, sitting on the back line, just supporting his team. But then when he comes in on the second week, he's aggressive, he's demoing, he's creating opportunities, he's opening up the net for his teammates. So the ability to change that play style week in and week out is why I think even with losses and stuff, they're still at the top.
Spacestation Gaming meet Pittsburgh Knights, a battle of NA 2 and 3. Winner gets automatic bid to the World Championship. Under a minute left in game 1. Knights just tied the game at 2 apiece. AXB gets the go-ahead goal. Sipical gets the first touch, then Arsenal hits the rebound, and AXB gets a soft touch on the ball, but enough to get it in. All 3 members of Spacestation for the goal and the win for game 1. In game 2, Sipical gets the save from Reddle's shot. Gyro tries for another shot, but gives the ball right to Sipical, who dribbles the ball straight down the pitch and makes the pass to Arsenal, who gets past missed, and AXB finishes the play with the goal. Once again, all 3 members of Spacestation get a touch on the ball. Nice pass by Arsenal. Victory through harmony. Spacestation wins the second game 2-0. Pittsburgh Knights now down 2 games. They have to make some moves. Mist takes a shot on goal, but Arsenal and AXB are there for the save. AXB pushes the ball back to the Knights' half. Arsenal now isolated with Mist and gets the ball over and into the goal. Arsenal Player of the Week in North America with 7 goals and 6 saves. Spacestation has the lead 3-2, but Knights could rally for overtime. Arsenal going for a move, but it's teammate AXB who gets a touch on the ball and makes the pass to Sipical, who was waiting for the shot. With the 2-goal lead, Spacestation win 4-2 and sweep the Knights for the 2nd seed in North America and an automatic bid to the World Finals in Madrid. And speaking of Sipical, he had the highest goals per game in Season 8, .9, one of Spacestation Gaming's snipers. They will be a team to look for in the playoffs. Little bit of a roller coaster ride for Spacestation. How were they able to turn their season around?
Big credit for me has to go to their coach. For those that don't know, Rob G or Robert Gomez was previously the coach of NRG all last season when they had a perfect season. He ended up getting replaced with somebody else who's actually former Rogue, Sis, who's a former player, and Rob is actually now the coach of Spacestation. And he simplified their game. They have a lot of new faces coming in. This is the first time that we're seeing a lot of them play at this level. So nerves and things like that do come into place. And when you have someone who's experienced and has shown, like, I know how to make this roster work and has experience playing against the best of the best or being on the best, he has a lot of insight and to me is probably the most valued coach we see in our scene. So a lot of credit to him and to the players. You know, they are trying a new roster, just like almost everybody else in the scene. So the first 2 weeks were shaky. You know, they started 0-2. They had a rough start, but then they simplified their gameplay. They started, going for stuff that wasn't so complicated, which has worked very well in EU for Veloce. So going for a more, I guess, passive approach, which is more focused on not making mistakes rather than creating opportunities, allowed them to basically create a foundation that wasn't so stressful. And then as the week started providing, they were getting more comfortable. The chemistry was starting to be shown. They start playing a bit more aggressive. They start creating those opportunities on their own. They transitioned from more of a defensive game to an offensive game and really took it to other teams. They look extremely strong, and I'm excited we have them at Madrid.
So here are your updated standings for the RLCS Season 8. NRG and Spacestation are automatically qualified for the RLCS Finals in Madrid, despite the fact that NRG suffered their first loss of the season. But how about Cloud9 and G2, Titans of Rocket League, now relegated to the promotional playoff? So here's your updated brackets for the RLCS North American playoffs. They begin on November 16th. Spacestation Gaming await the winner of Pittsburgh Knights and Ghost Gaming, while NRG will wait and see how the lower bracket shakes down. Continued coverage available at espn.com/esports.